let's begin by logging into our account, and you'll go under Submit Media like you normally would. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is fill in the blanks like you normally would, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to use an example with my Best Plumber directory. It's a lead page I created some time ago that's actually been doing very well. It generates a good number of leads every single week. And I'm going to check this box that says multiple times submissions. Now, in the past we allowed you to submit 4 times. We do allow you to do more than that now, all the way up to 12. However, with caveats. We do control the maximum number of submissions that go out, and we are going to require that you have multiple profiles. That is the user IDs and passwords. Again, if you don't, it'll probably get you in trouble unless you are very strategic. So we allow you to make bad mistakes, and I guess the bottom line is use good judgment when you're using this system. Now this description box here is for blog sites, for posting that. I'm going to skip that right now for the sake of the presentation. So the first thing we do is select our media file. I'm going to go into my plumbing directory, and I am going to select, oh that's right, it's under slideshows here. Okay, I'm going to grab my plumbing video right here. Okay, and I'll choose my category like I normally would, and allow embedding. Now, the first box we're going to fill out is our media title. Now, this is your standard keyword loaded title. So I'm going to just select my first one here again, just in the interest of saving time. And you'll see this automatically determined a shorter title, so I'm just going to rearrange the characters a little bit. The author, I always recommend that you put your URL in here to help generate additional backlinks. And for our description, this is a description that, as usual, I always recommend you begin with an URL to get you backlinks. I'll copy that, paste it in here. And our tags. I've got some tags I've already prepared. Copy those, paste them in here, and we immediately clean these and remove any duplicates and commas for some of the sites like YouTube. Now this is a very, very important thing, our login profile. I'm going to use my default profile here, but you'll see that I have multiple profiles. These again are multiple user IDs and passwords. In a moment you'll understand why this is so important. Now we also have something we call a watermark. Now this is one of the strategies we use for ensuring that your videos are not viewed as duplicates by the various engines. Now you can choose to put an overlay on here as a picture, okay, that would appear in the bottom right hand corner. These are also known as bugs, so you could put a logo in there that would actually get overlaid on the video. Now the other thing that you can do is display text on here. This can be used for multiple purposes. One is you could put your domain on here if you wanted to. Okay, that's also known as a bottom third. But you can also just display something on there. Again, what ends up happening is we take your video, we put something on top of it to make it look as though it is unique. It is tricky, and again, it can be abused, so I recommend you do not abuse the service. Now, here's where things get interesting. You'll see the next box is time submission number 2. We default to submitting this media 1 week from now. So you have a choice, either 1 week, 1 month. You can schedule your own. So you can take any of your medias and you can determine where you want to schedule. You can select a specific day, time that this thing will get broadcast. Now we highly recommend that you do not submit more than 1 video per week. If you do more than that, that's when things can get weird. That's when these services do look for unusual behavior. And my suspicion is it will get trickier in the future. So if you don't abuse it now, you're not going to have any problems. But what you want to do to save some time is click the copy below, and you'll notice that we actually copy all the information from the previous from our previous submission above. So what we'll do is select the next title. Okay, and I'm going to paste that in here, and you'll notice that I this is just a little trick, just by the way. You'll notice I named the this particular keyword with a misspelled word. I did that entirely on purpose. But in general, you'll want to leave the author and the description the same, and you'll want to paste, of course, in the alternate title here. So I'm going to let's see, I'll say best plumber. Okay, so that fit, and I hit my maximum number of characters. If you hadn't seen this in the previous video, this is an alternate short title. This is just for some of the services that require a 30 character or less title. Now, the other very important thing is you'll notice that I'm going to change my login profile to one of my other accounts. Okay, so the first one is going to use my default profile. The second one is going to be my next one. Again, this will appear to the search engine or the various services as though a different person is in fact submitting this content. It is the best way to avoid problems. So for our next submission, again, we copy. Boom. This one is going to program for 1 week from the previous one. I will select an additional title that is keyword loaded. Paste it in here. Paste this in here. Remove the extra stuff, and I will choose another profile. Okay, and I will do that one more time. Copy, copy below, there we go, and I'll paste in here. Paste, top 10 San Diego plumbers. Okay. And I will keep the rest of this, and again I will choose maybe a different profile. So the rest of it stays the same, and at this point what I have essentially done is set this thing up so it will broadcast a week apart multiple submissions. Okay, at this point I'm going to check all my various sites, maybe determine that I want to go to 2 of my blogs, all the social bookmarking sites, all my podcast sites. I can determine if I want to have this go to a specific podcast feed. In this case, I'm just making this up, so I'm going to send it to my Golf Home Buyer's Guide. I can determine whether or not I'm going to convert this media when the podcast is created. That's covered in the podcasting section. If you're not familiar with that, be sure you watch that video. The next video here, or the next screen, is for additional details. Again, my rule of thumb is whenever possible, paste in your domain in most of these boxes to ensure that you get maximum exposure. And you'd put your video in here as well. So at this point, once we do our submission, and we can give this a name, we'd call it San Diego Plumbing, and click on submit. This will in fact go out, and we will be broadcasting this video 4 different times to multiple services as soon as I click this thing, and our content will have been scheduled 4 times, which will go out in 1 week increments.